This is the Willamette Valley Courtyard at South Eugene High School in Eugene, Oregon. It's early June 2018. Tall lupine, or pine lupine, is in bloom in the upper right. In the foreground here, the pink flowers are checker mallow. These are native herbaceous plants or wildflowers here in the southern Willamette Valley. This courtyard before 1999 was mostly manicured and irrigated turf or lawn, surrounded by a border of mostly broadleafed evergreen shrubs that aren't native to this area, different rhododendrons from Asia and camellias and the usual plants that we use here in the southern Willamette Valley as ornamentals in our gardens. And this landscape here was the existing landscape then was removed and replaced with plants that are native here in the Upper Willamette Valley. The goal here was to establish a mixed savanna grassland habitat here that would not require any pesticides to maintain, would not require any irrigation, would not require frequent mowing and use of fossil fuels, and would illustrate to the students and staff and faculty and visitors here to South Eugene High School that this is what the Upper Willamette Valley looks like, and this is the landscape that belongs here, that is around our buildings, in our parks, except where we have playing fields and merry-go-rounds and sliding boards and things like that. And so the trees that are here were selected for the soil type here, which is poorly drained soil that's typical for this part of Eugene, and so most of the trees are Oregon ash. There are a couple of valley ponderosa pines, and then over at the entrance here are 3 Oregon white oaks. And all these trees, well, they were a few years old when they were planted, and so now they're about 20 years old and are very well established and content here. So these are the oaks here at the southeast entry to the courtyard. Most of the grasses that are here are non-native. They moved in after the establishment of the courtyard here, but there's still native grasses mixed in that we planted here, mostly blue wild rye. Another tree that's here in the courtyard is Douglas hawthorn, so that makes 4 species here: Oregon ash, valley ponderosa pine, Oregon white oak, and Douglas hawthorn. And the courtyard is mowed or cut once a year, and we cut 1/2 of it each year, so the other half of it remains over winter as cover for insects and birds and mammals and so forth. So last fall 2017, this part of the valley, the courtyard was cut, and this one remained uncut. So this part will be mowed this coming October, and the other one left to grow. So paths are mowed here just to provide occasional access to the courtyard, and also to indicate to people who look in here that this place isn't abandoned. That's unfortunately the impression that many people have of natural landscapes, if they don't know otherwise, is to them these don't belong in town. They'll go to a nature preserve or something to look at a natural landscape and grasses waving in the wind and wildflowers and so forth. But when they come back to town, they expect and want something different. And so that's one of the major barriers to this type of landscaping in urban areas, is people's, well, the way we're socialized to think a a landscape should look. So again, this one is very open, so it provides a lot of sunshine for the grasses and wildflowers, and it's easily manipulated. I mean, the idea here is that maybe none of these trees will be allowed to reach their potential, that the ashes might be, some of the ashes might be cut to the ground in every 10 years and allowed to resprout, or new trees planted and so forth, but yet maintain the open character of the courtyard here with this, again, mixed grassland savanna landscape. So this is about mid-season for most of the plants here. Again, the camas has bloomed already. The cow parsnip is in bloom now. The tall lupine, the checker mallow, goldenrod's yet to come. Douglas aster. There's a lot of Queen Anne's lace in here. It's from Europe, but it's tolerated. Anyway, again, the Willamette Valley courtyard here. All native plants. The classrooms that surround this courtyard, instead of looking out on, well, just a boring assemblage of plants from other parts of the world that don't know how to behave here and don't represent the Upper Willamette Valley at all. Instead, they look out on this, and when the afternoon wind is blowing here and the grasses, it's a beautiful sight to see. So again, Willamette Valley Courtyard, South Eugene High School, Eugene, Oregon, June 2018.